Initial remarks is to first tell you what the Finance Commission does, then where our work is at present, and third I'll speak a little bit briefly about our meeting today with the Government of Tripura, led by the Honorable Chief Minister. So just to give you a little background, the Finance Commission's mandate is principally about the division of union revenues between the center and the states, and then dividing the state share among the 28 states. The way it works is the following. I think you are okay with this. Okay. For population, the Tripura government said reduce that rate from 15 to 10%. For area, Tripura government said reduce that rate from 15 to 5%. As you know, Tripura is a state with very small share in nationally. It is the third smallest state. So therefore, when you do it by area, it doesn't get a whole lot out of it. So its recommendation on that expectation, I believe, is to reduce the weight of area from 15 to 5%. On forest and ecology, the 15th Finance Commission had given a weight of 10%, meaning 10%, it divided 10% of the divisible pool based on the share in forest of any given state. Tripura government's recommendation is that that should be increased to 20%. And once again, this is coming from the fact that Tripura actually has a very large forest area. Almost 70% of Tripura's total area is covered by forest. About the share of Tripura, because I can't say anything about the share of any other state either, because that's a decision which will be a difficult one. As you can imagine, you know, all states are competing, and you must have, if you are reading of the newspapers, many of the states, whichever states are saying that, you know, a lot of diversion of what we actually generate as revenue is being done to the poorer states, and also, you know, these are all contentious issues. So to that I can't say very much, you know, what the share of Tripura would be. Now, as regards the development of Tripura, I mean, that's generally not the center of discussion for the commissions, because they are more interested in the financial side, how the finances have been shaping up, about which I spoke already. I can give you my own observation on Tripura, you know, so it's not a comparison of what 15 said or what 16, but as an economist, I feel nothing. So, generally Tripura is a well-managed state. One of the very interesting features of Tripura is that, you know, this state now is much less dependent on agriculture, at least in terms of the workforce. Nationally, you know, about 45-46% of the workforce in India is in agriculture. Tripura is close to about 30-31%. So that, you know, when we think of economic transformation, one of the things we think is, you know, how much urbanization is happening and how much the transition out of agriculture into industry and services is happening. Because generally, you know, the productivity, labor productivity output per worker in agriculture tends to be lower than in industry and services. So there is an effort, therefore, there is an underlying objective that the workforce be moved out of agriculture into industry and services. On that transition, certainly Tripura is farther along than India is, but it's also because of the other disadvantages. Its per capita income is a little bit lower than the average of India, but it seems to be catching up. So in general, I read the situation in Tripura very positively and optimistically. And particularly when also we compare with the other northeastern states, Tripura is certainly coming along quite well.
We will have last question. Share of taxes, whether this will be considered this day.